Hey you guys, welcome back to another story time with me. How you guys doing? Thank you guys for tuning in. I am going to answer a question that I've been asked so many times, and I finally have the chance to answer you guys' question. As y'all can see, based on my title, is why I converted to Islam. So I'm going to try my best to tell you guys what led me to Islam and what it did for me, and what I suggest toward the end for converts or reverts, for anyone that is new in Islam. Before I start, I would like to tell you guys, for the people that doesn't know anything about Islam, I will be talking about my past, but I will not be sharing certain things in my past or any sins that I have committed in my past, because as a Muslim, as a new Muslim, if you do not know, once you submit to Allah, once you convert to Islam, all your past sins are erased. You are forgiven. It's gonna be tough, you guys, because there's like so many things that happened to me spiritually, that when I think about it, and I'm just like, wow, Allah saved me, y'all. Like, Allah saved me. Alhamdulillah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Few years before I knew anything about Islam or knew anything about being a Muslim, I remember I was in such a dark place. Subhanallah. Like, one day, me and my brother, we were sitting down in front of the computer. I don't know what we were doing. I don't know if we were listening to music, because we used to listen to music a lot. Like, we used to memorize, like, sit there and memorize like lyrics and everything. We heard something that had to do with the word, I don't want to say it, so I'm just gonna like write it down like somewhere here. And we were like so curious. We're like, what is that? So we should have never been that curious, you guys, because our curiosity exposed us to things that we shouldn't have been exposed to. So we started doing a bunch of research, and then I don't know what at the time what we ended up like learning or anything, but what I do know, that day, since that day, it had the biggest effect on me. So I remember after that, it was just so hard. I couldn't sleep, you guys. I was having trouble sleeping. I remember making sure my door had to be closed, my window had to be closed. Like, I couldn't even leave it cracked. I was so scared. It was so scary to go to sleep at night. One time, my brother, and I remember him coming in the room, and then he was like, this happened to me, this and that. And we was confused. We didn't know what he was talking about. So until it happened to me that same night. So I'm sleeping, and next thing I know, like, I'm like stuck. I'm stuck in bed. I can't move, and I'm trying to get up, and I just couldn't get up. I couldn't scream. I couldn't say nothing. I just felt stuck in bed. And I remember trying to scream. I remember trying to, like, you know, let me go. And I just couldn't, you guys. I just couldn't get up. I was awake, but I was stuck. And I remember praying, trying to get up, and then I finally something just let me go. Subhanallah. That was during the time that I was like visiting home. Like, I was in college, but I was visiting home around this time. I just heard the loudest scream in the middle of the night, and it was a cat, but it wasn't like no regular scream, you guys. And I don't know how to explain this. I'm pretty sure my island people probably know what I'm talking about, but this scream was just like outrageous. It was so loud, and it was like all night long until it calmed down. Y'all, when I say I was so scared, I was so scared, subhanAllah. I was so traumatized because I wasn't one time that happened. That happened so many times that I was so traumatized by cats to the point that, like, if anyone knows me, if anyone is close to me, they know how much I hate cats. I'm sorry for those people that loves cats, that think they're adorable. I just never had good experience with them. I've got attacked by them, and for some reason, everywhere I was living, I always had a window in my room, and they were always in my window, always screaming and crying and just like, well, like, you guys, it was just subhanAllah, like it was really it's something I just cannot even like explain to y'all. Really bad things were just kept on happening to me, and I was just like in a very depressing state. I ended up getting so sick, you guys, to the point that like I couldn't talk. I lost my voice. I wasn't able to talk for like, I think 5 to 10 days. I don't remember what happened. I wasn't able to say nothing. And at the time I used to sing for church, and let's just say by the time I was able to talk again, I wasn't singing. SubhanAllah, I was not singing. So I was just getting sick. I was getting really sick around that time, and I started getting like major panic attacks. The first time it happened to me, I just came from football practice, and I went to use the bathroom, and I got to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I couldn't get up. I could not get up, so I started hyperventilating, and I started getting hot, cold. I couldn't breathe, and I was just like stuck. I was like, I couldn't move. Fell on the floor, and I managed to like drag myself and knock on the door so my family could hear me. And then they rushed in trying to cool me down, but I was just like breathing so high, and I was hot and cold, and I was shivering and shaking. Like all type of stuff was just happening to me, and I just had no idea why. And since that, it just kept on happening. It happened to me at work. It happened to me at school. It happened to me like everywhere. And then I finally went to the doctor, and they didn't know what was happening to me. They couldn't tell me nothing. They didn't know. They couldn't explain it. They were just like, well, take this pill and then hopefully it works. Well, it did not work, you guys. It took a very long time. Every Sunday I would be at church just crying my eyes out, like just searching and looking for help, and nothing would have worked. And one thing that stood out to me was the pastor would be preaching, but since we were in college, he was so busy trying to relate to us college kids that he wasn't really preaching the word. That's what I needed at the time, and that's not what he was really preaching. Whatever I exposed myself to, it was hunting me, you know. I just felt like sometime when I was going to bed or when I was going to sleep, I just had this devil in one side of my shoulder, or this angel in one side of my shoulder. It just literally, my head was like, I was just like, I don't even have the term for it. And I remember there was a point that I don't know if you call that hallucinating, but I was seeing things. You guys, yeah, might think I'm crazy, but was like, it was so bad. I was like seeing images, like, and not just regular, like, okay, I'm sitting down and then I'm start seeing stuff. No, I don't think I was that crazy. And I remember feeling like I had to choose. I was in a position that I was like, okay, I need to choose. I need to choose my path. I need to change my life, because I was just so stubborn. I had no patience. I was depressed. I kept on getting panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and it was just like, okay, what are you gonna do about your life? You need to do something.